This video is brought to you by Madhouse Collectibles. Hey everybody, welcome to Transformers Masterpiece Theater. I'm the Rusty Mechanic, and this is my dog Maggie.
Who's a little shithead? Yes, you are.
But that's not why you're here. You're here to check out Takara Tomy's masterpiece, MP-52 Starscream version 2.0. 2.0? Shouldn't this be 3.0? Isn't this like the third one that they've done since the beginning of the masterpiece line? I don't know, I can't remember. This stuff's harder to keep track of than the Star Trek timelines.
How dare...
And I gotta tell you guys, this one was a bit of an emotional roller coaster for me. I was all over the map on this one. First thing that caught me off guard was the absolute enormity of this thing. I mean, this thing's bigger than my dog! Because an MP Starscream should not be this big, right? And then you realize why you just dropped 350 Canadian dollars on this thing, because look at all of these accessories. There's just so many. And by the way, I wasn't able to figure out where the meteorite, claw hand, and drill bit came from, so by all means, comment down below and let me know where they came from. And yes, before anybody comments on it, yes, I did change my t-shirt because this is the second day of filming for this video, so fuck off. Look, if Jobby can do a video and change his background and make a comment on it, I can comment on my t-shirt, okay? And like I mentioned before, when I first pulled this guy out of the box, I was all over the map with the emotions on this one. First I was happy. Yay, my first MP Seeker. And then I was sad. Was Starscream always this dark? Why aren't his tail fins painted? Then I was confused. When did he have a claw hand? Or a drill hand for that matter? Then excited. Look at this paint job though. It looks like everything's painted here. Even these details here, like these dark gray squares. And up in here in the red, check the underside. Yeah, everything's painted underneath here too. The feet, the chest. And then the disappointment set in. Because when you take this guy out of the box and you rotate him over, you can immediately see his torso sitting there staring you in the face. Like, come on, Takara, you can't at least engineer some way to at least attempt to hide his torso so you're not looking at it when you flip the alt mode over? I mean, Fantoys would never do this, right? I mean, take a look at Iceman. He's... You gotta be fuck. Okay, alright, fine. I can forgive the robot torso on the underside of the alt mode. But then came the rage. What in the name of all that is good and holy is happening here? Have we gotten so lazy with the engineering that we can't even figure out a way to get the cockpit of the alt mode to become the chest of the robot mode? And finally there was acceptance and peace and calm. Because it did become apparent during the transformation here that what Takara was going for here with 2.0... 3.0? Stop it. Yeah, but... was a realistic F-15 Strike Eagle while still trying to maintain that cartoon accuracy in robot mode, and I gotta tell you, I think Takara nailed it this time. So very nice looking alt mode, and probably one of the better aspects of this figure is just the pure accuracy on this to a real-life F-15 Strike Eagle jet fighter, but also the fact that they tried to stick with the cartoon accuracy paint scheme as well, right? I mean, there's gray squares that are painted on here at the back, completely unnecessary. Gray stripes here, and of course the red jet engine intakes, gold canopy, semi-translucent, so you can actually see inside the cockpit or the seat. Decepticon logo and the red and white stripes on the wings. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure why they didn't paint the tail fins. It's super disappointing that they didn't stick the stripes on there. I can't explain it. But all of the details that you do see in the alt mode, all of the lines, not the paneling, but the line details, you'll see all this stuff on an actual F-15 Strike Eagle. Right down to the fact that this is the first model, and I noticed it on Iceman as well, Fantoys missed this, but an F-15 Strike Eagle's machine gun is actually here at this point, and this is only on one side. If I just tilt this on the other side, you'll see it's smooth and straight. There is no hole or indentation for the machine gun. So they match that, and again, all the other lines and details and that stuff you'd expect to see on a jet fighter. You've got your flaps on the main wings. You've got adjustable thrusters at the back. The engine thrusters actually move, and you can move them around, which you'll actually see on an actual jet fighter in action. So really well done on the details. The only thing that I actually thought was a bit of a miss was with all the detail that they added into the jet itself, there are no details in the cockpit. There's no instrument panel or anything in here. It's just a flat piece of plastic. It would have been nice if they'd gone ahead and actually thrown some details in here. Very cartoon accurate robot mode. Again, like I discussed earlier, you know, they had this canopy hidden for the chest, trying to maintain that cartoon accuracy. But for this mode, Takara has absolutely nailed this. The colors are, everything's in the right place, everything where it's supposed to be, everything is painted. Very nice semi-matte colors all up and down. The stripe on the wings. The Decepticon logos are, can't really show you, maybe I can, yes, they're upside down, which is the way it was depicted most of the time in the G1 cartoon. And the molding on the null rays is just fantastic. So face sculpt, head sculpt, everything about this figure is 100% cartoon accurate, in my opinion. Definitely one to go and get if that's what you're into for your cartoon accuracy in your collection. As for the transformation, there's definitely some interesting engineering tricks that they've built into this guy, but it's just awkward and it just doesn't feel intuitive to make it enjoyable. By the way, you will not be getting a 3-minute transformation from this guy. And while the alt mode has some excellent real world and cartoon accuracy to it, and the robot mode also excellent cartoon accuracy, and it just looks fantastic and feels good in hand. The articulation is really, really good as well. But there's just too many other problems with this thing, like loose ankles and parts that flop around in the alt mode, and accessories that just don't work or just don't make any sense to justify the $350 Canadian price tag on this thing. Hey guys, just an update. As I was filming this video, I came across Jobby's video, which is almost identical to mine and kind of hilarious. But anyway, he caught on to a part of the transformation that I don't think is covered in the instructions, and I didn't see it in anybody else's. I didn't capture it in my truly methodical transformation video, so apparently these feet actually click into the mechanism that is holding the thruster, which eliminates the ankle wobble. I'll do it again on this one. Little pop. And now, when he stands, he's actually solid, and you don't need to flip out this part to try to stabilize his foot. So it's his foot onto the thruster now, and he's a lot more stable. So before we get any further, I do want to announce I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and I want to make a shout out first off to Madhouse Collectibles and Toys for trying to help me out with this. Basically, I've crossed 500 subscribers, and I want to make it to 1,000, so I'm calling it the Push to 1,000 giveaway. Madhouse Collectibles has been kind enough to send me some t-shirts for giveaway, so I've got these Quintesson t-shirts. There's one in green, and there's also one in blue. I've got a whole bunch of these that he gave me, which I'll be giving away over the next few months. Basically, every time that I hit an even number of subscribers, so when I hit 600 subscribers, 700 subscribers, 800 subscribers, I'm going to put you guys in a draw for one of these t-shirts. All you need to do is comment on any of my upcoming videos, this one or any of my future videos. If you comment push to 1,000 in the comments, I'll add you in the bin for the draw for the t-shirts. And then, if you're wondering why these guys are sitting behind me, if I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll put you guys in a draw for a giveaway for an Iceman or an Apache, your choice, once I do the draw, once I hit 1,000. So, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and help me make it to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll give you guys some t-shirts, and one of you will get one of these guys. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at an alt mode size comparison with MP-45 Bumblebee, MP-39 Sunstreaker, and FT-30B Iceman from Fantoys. And for his robot size comparison, we've got the Fans Toys Insecticons, MP-01 Acid Storm, turns out I did have an MP Seeker after all, and MP-27 Ironhide. And if we take a look at Mike Lorber's size scale chart, I threw in Ironhide here because Ironhide and Starscream are about the same height in that size scale chart that Mike did. And as we can see from the picture, the two figures are pretty much identical in height. Although I will note that I had Ironhide posed with a bit of a leg spread, an A-frame leg spread going on. So maybe Ironhide's a little too tall, or maybe MP-52 Starscream is a little too short. For his alt mode accessories, he does come with the two null ray blasters. He comes with these translucent purple thruster effects. He also comes with this very nicely detailed Megatron in his alt mode. You can't separate any of these pieces. I think that's been commented to death. It's all one single piece of plastic, but it's all molded very nicely and painted with some very good detail. It even has the Decepticon logo sitting on the side there. It actually has two tabs in the handle, so you can actually store Megatron on the bottom of Starscream in that plastic panel that hides his canopy. So these handles go into the tab, just like that. For, again, I think that one scene where Megatron transformed and attached himself to the bottom of Starscream as they were flying along. The only problem with this, of course, is with the flight stand that I'll show you in a minute. The flight stand adapter connects here, which means that you cannot attach Megatron to the bottom of Starscream and have him on the flight stand to make it look like they're flying together, which means the only way that you can present this is with him on the ground and with Megatron attached to the bottom of Starscream. The front landing gear does not touch the ground because he's actually resting on Megatron. So another situation with these accessories, and I commented on this with RC, it's fine for them to give us all these accessories and these ways of attaching the accessories together for various situations. Options are good, I guess, except when they don't always work, right? So a little more thought into, you know, hey, this accessory can attach to this, but then that means that the other accessory can't attach to it, which means that now this is sitting on the ground and it just doesn't look right. And again, 350 Canadian dollars, all these accessories are great, but they'd better all work together. For the rest of his accessories, he does come with the two null rays, of course, for his robot mode. In alt mode, you can transform them from this to this. I went over that in my unboxing video, so I'm not going to go over it again. You can check out that video on my channel. But once you have it positioned this way, it does very easily attach to the underside of the wing. This peg will go into this hole, and then this tab here will actually go in the middle of the wing there. Very easily looks like this. So you guys can see it right there. and it ends up looking like that. And then the thrust effects, which go into the back of the jet engines. Very simple, clear peg here goes into the center of the jet engine. Not as easy to get into as you might think, because if you try to push them in and the engine collapses, then you end up collapsing the engine to the point that there's actually a metal cap inside, right, to keep the engine from completely pulling out, which blocks you from being able to put this in. So you actually have to make sure the engine is out, lift up this flap so that you can hold on to the engine while you are pressing that into place. And then same thing on the other side. Straighten them out so they look even, and supersonic speed. And then, of course, the last accessory is the flight stand that it comes with. It does come in 4 parts, actually. So there's 2 base halves that you can push together, and then the arm itself, which is adjustable and connects the 2 pieces together. And then there's the adapter that goes into the bottom of the chest here in these 2 slots, like I had mentioned before. I did cover this flight stand off in my unboxing video, so if you want to see more about it, go ahead and check it out there. So here's all those accessories for robot mode. Again, there's so many of them, so many options. Again, options are good, and these accessories are all actually very, very nice. The only questionable ones, of course, is the drill accessory and this, they call it the magic hand accessory, which, you know, we probably saw for like 2 seconds in 2 different episodes. Again, that I couldn't figure out which episodes they came from, but they're in there. The nicest accessory is this Megatron gun. Out of all the Masterpiece figures that ever came with a Megatron gun, this is the nicest one. There is a whole bunch of detail here. It's completely painted. Even the grip for the handle is lined. The scope details are amazing. There's even a Decepticon logo on the side here. And there is a space in the trigger guard that you can fit Starscream's finger into. And when you are using this one, you do need to extend the handle down so that it will fit into his hand properly. Unfortunately, again, if you're going to give us these accessories, I want them to work properly, because every time that I try to put this in Starscream's hand, it does not, these tabs do not fit into his hand properly, his hand does not grip it properly, and it's just kind of hanging in there loose. It's actually a little disappointing. For the rest of the accessories, we got a blast effects. These do work on both the Megatron accessory, they just go on the end like that, or it will also fit onto his null ray. You just push it on like that. Sorry guys, I didn't bring it back into focus. So you just push it on like that. Same thing with this blast effect. It does work on the Megatron accessory. It does work on the null ray. Just push it onto the end. All right. And the nicest blast accessory, I think, is actually this one, which I think is more of a null ray blast than any of the other accessories. So I like using this one best on his null ray. I'll show you what it looks like, just because it is so cool. Give it a little sideways look there. Very, very nice accessory. The 2 accessories that are over here, which attach to the end of his hand. So what you have to do is just go through the motion of collapsing the hand away, so that you expose the peg that's here, and then both of the accessories have a slot at the end of them. So I'll show you the claw hand as well, right? See, so they both have a slot that just simply fits on the end of his hand when you have it rotated away. Again, giving us accessories that don't easily go into place like that was extremely difficult versus the blast effects. Right, they just slid on very nicely. When I did the thrust effects in jet mode, they just slid on very nicely. There's no need to make these so poorly designed that they are difficult to use. Anyway, they just push onto the tab. Let's try this one and see the drill bit and see if it's any easier from its claw hand counterpart. And it is not. It is equally as painful for putting on. And that's what that looks like. And he also comes with a multitude of face sculpts, and these are very easy to put on and on. I'll just bring this into focus here so you can see one of them. That's his smirk face. Then you have his yelling face, and then you have his surprised. Oops, sorry guys. Surprised face, and then there's some kind of evil smiley face. And finally, this is the face that comes originally on him, and I have replaced it with his open-mouthed, evil grin laughing face. And it is super easy because his head tilts back that far, but literally tilt the head back and just push on the bottom of the face sculpt and it'll literally pop out. There's a slot here. There's a tab on the back of each one of the face sculpts. So the tab goes into the slot. And you just pop it right back in. Just like that. Super simple. And then, of course, there is the flight stand, which you can actually sort of kind of use in his robot mode. I mean, this adapter does fit into his back, which goes into the same piece that it does in his alt mode. So this will fit into the two slots that are there. Unfortunately, it's another one of these things where this is great in alt mode and it's terrible in robot mode, and I'll show you why. But you just go ahead and put this right on there, wait for that satisfying snapping sound, and then you'll need to take your flight stand and adjust it into a more upright position. Swing this part back so it's facing back, and you're actually going to use the flight stand in this configuration. Again, same as before, right? This hexagon shaped adapter goes onto the peg just like that. And then, as you can see, you don't really get a lot of height out of it, so I'm not really sure how you're supposed to use this. Like, you can mess around with the legs to try to get some height out of it, I guess, but it just, and then it falls forward. So you have to keep playing around with it until you get it. But as you can see, like, he's, like, it's falling forward, and you don't really get any type of angle that makes any sense. And you have the two thrust effects that you could put into the bottom of his feet, but you can't get enough height out of this flight stand so that you could actually put these into the bottom of his heels. So a little bit of another failure here with this accessory. It's fine in his alt mode, but terrible for his robot mode. So I'll give it to Takara again on the articulation. Their last few figures, the articulation has been fantastic. Starscream is no different. His head is on an interesting pivot pin joint that works in conjunction with the transformation, but it does allow for the head to tilt way back. It does tilt slightly forward, and it does have full 360-degree rotation. Shoulders are a soft ratchet. You can do 360 degrees with them. You just have to be mindful of the wings in the back, obviously. He does have a bicep swivel. Same thing with the null rays. It impedes on the wings, but it does have 360. You do have a more than 90-degree elbow bend, which is excellent. And you also have a wrist rotation, 360 degrees. The hand is individually articulated fingers and thumb. Each individual finger and the thumb has a pin at each of the knuckles, so lots of articulation in the hands. And of course, it's already been noted, there is no waist swivel, there is no ab crunch. Really, you can fake it. You would have to sort of break away the wings, and then you can get them to pivot forward at the waist. I'm not going to go through it. It's not really meant to do that. Move on down to the legs. So there is a front and side hip skirt. This does allow you to get the full Van Damme out to one side, and will also, I'll show you on this side because it's a little cleaner on this side. But you can swing them all the way forward. You can, very nice ball ratchet in there. You can't really get them all the way back again. The wing assembly does get in the way of the leg swinging back, but I would assume that it can swing all the way back if you really wanted to. And the knee does, again, well over 90 degrees. What else? And then the legs do rotate there slightly. They do hit on the front and side hip skirts. Ankle rotation, decent amount of ankle rotation out, decent amount in, and it does also pivot backwards. Not really in the front, it hits on his shin there. But definitely a decent amount of articulation throughout this figure. No issues with posability at all, even with the missing waist swivel and ab crunch. One of the nice details that they did add into the robot mode is there's actually a set of missiles that are hidden underneath his chest compartment here. You can just flip up these panels here like this to reveal the missiles. So that was a nice touch as well by Takara on this mode. That's it, everybody. If you've made it this far and you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Sure helps out a lot. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And please check the links in the description. If you'd like to support my channel, there's a link in there for buymeacoffee.com that you can use to support the channel. Also in the description are links to Madhouse Collectibles for all of your Transformer needs. And Mike Lorber, who's a graphic designer, he's the one that created the size scale chart that I use in my videos. Once again, thanks a lot. This has been Transformers Masterpiece Theater. I'm the Rusty Mechanic.